Welcome back, guys, to the Moji Films YouTube channel. I hope you guys are liking and subscribed and fastening your seatbelt for the iPhone 16/16 Plus video review. I've had this phone for about a day or so. I don't really tend to use the non-pro models for too long. I like to just get into the camera, check out what's going on, and then done, quick in and out. But this one, it surprised me. It really surprised me. It's something new. It's different from the 15 from last year. I would not say it's better than the 15 Pro of this year, of last year as well. But I would say it's a good machine. If you're a young content creator, you're a young kid just trying to make YouTube videos and you don't want to get the 16 Pro, get this. It works. But my first talking point on this is the camera control button. This button right here. As you can see, it's something that we've never seen before from Apple, because it's a gimmick. It's something that is not programmed to one certain thing and can do so much in terms of camera control, in terms of it helps manipulate the different ways you can zoom in. I mean the 16 Plus, because this is 16 Plus, it's not the normal 16. I got this for my mom because she needed a new phone. She was using a 10s Max before, and I was like, if I can get a new phone and also get a review out for you guys, let me do it quickly. The 16 Plus, it's intriguing. The first good thing about this phone is that you get a good camera, purely the camera. This camera is honestly so good. It is honestly so great. You also get good storage, as in, like, if you're just recording normal 1080p, 60 frames or 30 frames, up to you what frame rate you'd like to use, you're able to manipulate that. And also the battery life on this is beautiful. Like the Plus model, I've had it for a day or so. I've recorded some stuff on it, changed different things, and I've gotten honestly such a good feel of how great the battery life and everything is on this phone. I'm like, I could easily recommend it to young content creators. If you want to shoot YouTube videos, don't need to go buy a camera. There's no need. Get this. Honestly, get this. Use the camera control. Use the video method. Use the video capabilities. This is good. This is perfect. But now comes the negative, the counterpoint to all that. It's USB 2.0. So if you're like me and you'd like to connect a hard drive directly into its USB 2.0 and you don't have USB 3.0 capabilities, this doesn't have the extra lens that you get on the Pro models. This doesn't have the overall polishedness that you get on the Pro models. You don't get the ProRes RAW recording feature on this, so you can't use that. You can't use log recording on this. So it does have negatives. I'm not saying it's a good phone. I'm not saying it's a perfect phone. It is a good phone, but it's not perfect. It does have its counterpoints. But overall, if you want to just take a phone, take out, record like this, this is good. This is very good. There's very few out there that I would recommend apart from the S24 Ultras and the iPhone 16 Pros and the 15 Pro. Now, what would one say in terms of how can you compare the two? You have very good 15 Pro that I'm recording this video on. Check out the review that I did previously on this phone, and compared to this, I was taking with my 15 Pro. There's no need for me to go buy a 16. I'm sticking with the 15 Pro. I'm sticking with the 15 Pro for a long time, purely because the camera control, it is a gimmick at the end of the day, because it's a double tap and then you can just adjust your zoom. That's about it. But should you buy it? If you're using an iPhone 11 Pro, a 12 Pro, a 12 mini, a 13 mini, a 13 Pro, 14 Pro, 14 Pro Max, 14 Plus, and you want to upgrade and get something that's better than those phones in terms of the cameras, get a better camera app and not spend too much on the Pro phones, get this. Just get this. Or alternatively, go for last year's 15 Pro. They are the same price. Yes, the 15 Pro might have some wear and tear, but they are the same price. They might be marked down. They will be the same price. Get the 15 Pro. But doesn't mean that this is not a great phone. This is a very, very, very great phone. It shows that we've settled, because this and the 15 normal is, it's not too much different, but it's so much greatness repackaged in a different kind of way, because it's the same features, it's the same two cameras, although this is a 48 megapixel lens and no longer a 12 megapixel lens. It's double 48 megapixels. That's one thing I'm really interested in, problem about this phone and why you should wait on buying it yet. It becomes difficult for me to say to you, buy the normal 16 over 15 Pro from last year. It becomes difficult for me to say buy the 16 instead of the 15 from last year. It becomes such a problem that the 16 has no identity. There has nothing to make it stand out. Yes, you might say Apple has had this issue for the last few years, but you can recall back to the 15 and the 14. The outstanding difference was the dynamic island, and that was a big feature for people. Even for me, I love dynamic island. I love the ability to multitask to that level. So you end up having such an issue with having a normal 16 that it's so impossible for me to say to you it would be a good purchase for anyone well, not to say it wouldn't be a good purchase, but it wouldn't be such a clear-cut case for me to say to you, buy the 16 over the 15, buy the 16 over the 15 Pro, which are going to be, the 15 is going to be $100 cheaper, or in my currency, $2,500, and in between the 15 Pro and the 16 is going to be the same price, around $800 after markdown, because it's the second hand, and it's also the previous last gen. So it ends up becoming a bit of a problem for me to ask you, who is the target market for this phone? Who is it meant to appeal to? Do we say, hey, you still have the 60 Hz refresh rate that the 15 has, get the 15 Pro, it has 120 Hz promotion. You don't have the third camera that the 15 has, which gives you a much larger place to zoom. You don't have the same recording capabilities instead of ProRes in terms of ProRes recording, ProRes RAW, ProRes log. You don't have USB 2.0, you don't have USB 3.0, sorry. You don't have the ability to record immediately and send it directly through a USB hard drive, USB-C hard drive directly there, because you have a USB 2.0. So if you look at it purely from my videographer perspective, and purely even from my Apple fanboy perspective that people might call me, it's hard for me to justify you buying the 16. You don't have Apple Intelligence, its big selling point. You don't have it outside of the box. That's why so many people are selling it. But at the end of the day, the 16 is still a great phone. It is still an amazing phone. It is still something that you can take out of your pocket and record and have confidence in it. I'm not saying you don't have confidence, but you have the full best confidence. I'm just saying it's hard to justify buying a 16 over the 15 Pro. Is going to be the same price second hand. Over the 15 of last year is going to be a big discount off, brand new out the box from Apple. It's hard for me to come to you as a viewer and say, buy the 16 over the 15, buy the 16 over the 15 Pro. Like, check out my 15 Pro review. I spoke for so long on that phone purely because of how great I think it is. Because I believe it's Apple pushing the envelope, pushing the limits. The camera control, it's a gimmick. It's a gimmick. I'm sorry to say it's a gimmick. Just use your finger. It's in an inconvenient place if you want to record selfie, portrait, because you're going to record a lot of portrait stuff for TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube Shorts. So it's impossible for me to say camera control, because a lot of content, a lot of media is moving towards the more portrait side and moving away from landscape. And if you're holding it, it's a bit awkward. So I leave the question to you, my viewer. from all the points that have been made, from all the reviews that you've seen from Marquez Brownlee, Mr. Who's the Boss, all these great YouTubers, even they will tell you there's nothing new. There's nothing to brag home about. There is honestly nothing to brag home about. Nothing for this phone. Camera control, yes, it has no Apple Intelligence. So I'm not one to review a phone on what it could become. I'm one to review a phone on what it comes out of the box with now today. And now today, this phone does not come with Apple Intelligence, so it would be unfair for me to say, oh, Apple Intelligence, let's hang our hopes on this. It would be so unfair. So, guys, my honest opinion is get the 15 Pro, get the normal 15. 15 Pro, it's a better deal, for better specs, for better capabilities, for the same price. But the 16 is still a great phone. If you want to get a 16, if you don't mind the trade-offs of a 16 and a 15 Pro, get the 16. If you want all the 15 Pro stuff with the camera control button, spend the extra money and go get the 16 Pro. There is no logical reason to justify. If you say, oh, 15 Pro won't have Apple, yes, it will. It will have Apple Intelligence. The 15 Pro will have Apple Intelligence. So what's the consensus in terms of why you should get a 16 over the 15 Pro? There's no reason. There's no honest way you can justify to me and say, I'm gonna get a 16 over the 15 Pro. Unless you want the latest iPhone in your pocket, and that's okay. We all have different reasons to buying a phone, and I can't tell you exactly what's gonna be perfect for you. I can only advise you from my point of view, from where I'm sitting. And where I'm sitting is the 16 is a great phone. It is something you can go home and brag about, but it's not the best deal out there for your money. You're not getting your money's worth because you still have a 60 Hz refresh rate phone. You still have USB 2.0. Yes, you do get the dual fusion 48 megapixel cameras, but you don't get what the phone was promised with in terms of Apple Intelligence. You don't get the smart camera control recognition software that was promised with Apple Intelligence. You don't get so much that it's impossible. Yes, you do get the new action button, but the action button came with the 15 Pro. Like, if I was to do a side-by-side comparison, there is no reason to get the 16 over the 16 Pro or the 15 Pro. Yes, it's better to get the 16 over the 14 Pro, but even then, stick with your 14 Pro. You just use the adapters. That's what I'm saying. Unless you're using an 11 or below, even if you're using an 11 or below, go for the 15. Go grab the 15. It's the same phone. This year honestly feels like Apple dropped the ball a bit in terms of promising something that's not out yet. I don't like that promise of like, oh hey, I'm gonna give you this, but buy the phone and trust me, I'm gonna release the phone. Yes, we can trust Apple. Apple's a great supplier of what they've promised to customers over the years, but still, it's a matter of principle. Don't buy what the phone for what it could be, buy it for what it is now. And for what it is now, get the 15 Pro. Thank you guys for watching this. This has been my little quick iPhone 16 review because I'm not a big fan of the normal models or the standard models. I'm a pro guy myself. I've only used the 12. The only standard phone I used to use was the 12 mini because I like the size. But since then I've used the 13, 14, 15, 16. I'm gonna use the 16 Pro within the next few months. When Apple Intelligence comes out, I do plan on making a review with the 16 Pro using Apple Intelligence, but if all else fails, I'll be using a 15 Pro for Apple Intelligence because it is supported on the A17 Pro chip. But guys, it's been great. Thank you guys for watching. This is the iPhone 16. I hope you guys buy it if you want to buy it. If you don't buy it, it's okay. Wait another year. Next year's phone will also be as great. I don't doubt Apple for making great phones. But it's been me, Moji Films. It's me, Moji from Moji Films. It's been great serving you guys. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you tune in again for some of my YouTube videos and continue. Please like and subscribe, share to all your friends, and help them make the best possible phone decisions there is. I will be making an iPhone guideline for my Instagram later on this year. Please do tune into that and look at the special deals that we've got. Thank you.
In the dark of night, these thoughts of mine keep me up all night. got my heart